Yes.
Okay, so Masters, welcome to part 11 of the book session Autobiography of a Yogi by Master Paramahansa Yogananda. And today we are on chapter number, Anaji, please go
22.
ahead.
22. Heart of a stone image. Is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
chapter number 22. And also, Anaji, if you could tell the name of the next chapter, chapter 23.
23 is I received my university degree.
Yes, great. So, Masters, we would be covering these two chapters from the book today. So, Masters, we usually have a form of divine in our minds and in our hearts that we relate to. For some, it may be Lord Krishna, for some, it may be Lord Shiva, Goddess Durga, for some, Lord Jesus. And all these forms, they are different expressions of the same underlying consciousness. And Yogananda, he said that he used to relate God as his divine mother, which was in the form of Goddess Kali. And we all know that how much Yogananda, he was close to his earthly mother. And when he was just a little child of 11 years, his earthly mother, she left her physical body. And since then, Yogananda, he felt a very deep connection with the Divine Mother. And so in today's session, Masters, we will learn a little bit about this Yogananda's deep connection with the Divine Mother. And before we do that, let's take a moment to feel the presence of the Divine Mother in our hearts. She has the ability to transform, to change our consciousness, to heal, to give us this ability to forgive, to love one and all. And so let's today listen to a beautiful cosmic chant on the Divine Mother, which is, "Come out of the darkness, Mother, bathe me in thy light. Come out of the darkness, Mother, bathe me in thy light." And in this beautiful cosmic chant, Masters, we are requesting the Divine Mother to banish all kinds of ignorance, all kinds of delusions that we may have in our life, which may be in the form of hatred, anger, guilt, shame, ignorance. And we are requesting the Divine Mother to bathe us in the shower of her light. So gently closing your eyes, Masters, and let's listen to this beautiful cosmic chant.
Ruchi, I think you're on mute.
Okay, thanks, Nilima. So, Masters, let's start with the today's session. Now, in the screen, you are seeing Yogananda, and he is with his eldest sister, Roma. So, now Yogananda's eldest sister, Roma, she was married to Satish. And although Roma, she was spiritual, she followed the path of Kriya Yoga. She used to meditate, but her husband Satish, he used to ridicule Roma of her spiritual aspirations, and he even used to make fun of the pictures of the saints that were hung in her meditation room. And due to this, Roma, she felt a bit disturbed from inside, and she wanted to help her husband see the world that exists beyond the worldly or the materialistic ideals. And she wanted her husband not only to be concentrated in the material world. And so Roma, she requested her brother Yogananda to help her in transforming her husband Satish. And Yogananda, he promised her, his sister Roma, that definitely he will help Roma. And then one day, Yogananda, he got an inspiration that they must all visit the famous Dakshineshwar temple in Calcutta. And so they all, made arrangements to go to this famous temple of Ma Kali, which is Dakshineshwar temple in Calcutta. It is a very famous temple. And Yogananda, he told Roma that she must not tell about the purpose of their visit, that why they are going, and they are going to reform Satish. So Yogananda told that do not disclose the purpose of their visit to the Dakshineshwar temple. And Yogananda believed that the holy vibrations of this temple, that the Divine Mother, will surely touch Satish's heart and will help him to see the eternal truths of life. And so, in the early morning hours, they all left for the Dakshineshwar temple in Calcutta. And when they reached there, then Satish, he said to Yogananda that, young Mr. Monk, don't forget to make proper arrangements with the temple authorities to provide for a noon meal. Because Satish, he was so into the eating, drinking, and sleeping mode that he wanted to have his noon meal on time. He did not want it to miss his lunch meal. And Yogananda, he just said that I am going to meditate now. Do not worry about your lunch. The Divine Mother will look after it. And Satish, he was not very happy with the reply of Yogananda, and he just said in a threatening tone that I don't trust the Divine Mother to do a single thing for me, but I hold you responsible for my food. So Satish, in a way, is saying to Yogananda that since you have got me to this temple, now you better take care of the food and all the other things. They should all happen on time. And then immediately, Yogananda, he sat in for his meditation. And he sat in the lotus posture, and just in the corner of the temple, he sat in for meditation. And he pleaded with the Divine Mother to help his brother-in-law Satish. And 5 hours passed, Yogananda sitting in this lotus posture for meditation, pleading the Divine Mother, and he was not getting any reply from the Divine Mother. And now he was feeling slightly disheartened that why is the Divine Mother not giving any answer to him? Just imagine, Masters, Yogananda, he's sitting in for meditation and he's pleading the Divine Mother not for himself, but for his brother-in-law Satish. How many times have we sat in meditation asking the divine for somebody else? And how many hours have we sat? Generally it happens that just some time when it passed, and if we don't hear a reply, we get distracted, we get discouraged, and then we come out of the meditation. But Yogananda didn't do so. And, a thought came to Yogananda that sometimes it is a test by God to delay the fulfillment of prayers. But he eventually appears to the persistent devotee in whatever form he holds dear. So, he got this realization that sometimes it is a test by God to delay giving answers to the prayers of the devotee, just to see that the devotee really needs an answer. Is he really interested to get the answer from the divine, or is he just, doing a formality that, okay, I'll sit in for some time. If I get an answer, it's okay. Otherwise, I'll just get up and I'll get back to my routine work. So the realization, it came to Yogananda that it is just a test by God, and my unwavering faith, my unwavering trust will always be there no matter what. And he knew that the divine eventually appears to the devotee who is consistent, who has unwavering faith and trust. And now it was already noon time, and it was time to close the temple doors, because we know that during the noon time, the temple doors, they are closed, and also the doors are closed where the images and where the idols of all the gods and goddesses are. So all the doors were closed. And just then what happened? To the amazement of Yogananda, the temple got magnified. The temple door, it slowly got opened, revealing the stone image of Goddess Kali. And what happened next was the most breathtaking thing that ever happened. The statue of Goddess Kali, it changed into a living form. And just imagine how much joy, how much bliss Yogananda must have felt on seeing the living form of Goddess Kali, of his beloved mother. And the beloved mother, the Goddess Kali, she was smilingly nodding to Yogananda. And his joy knew no bounds. And Yogananda, he pleaded to Goddess Kali to please spiritually awaken his sister's husband. And the Divine Mother, she replied that your wish is granted. And then this vision of Goddess Kali to Yogananda, it lasted for about an hour. And then all of a sudden, Satish, he came running towards Yogananda. And now Satish, he was very angry and he was very hungry at the same time, because Yogananda had failed to make any prior arrangement for the food. As lunch was only served to those in the temple who had made a prior request to the priest that we would be staying here for lunch, so you please make arrangements for the lunch. And now 5 hours had already passed that Yogananda had been sitting in for meditation, and he had failed to make this prior request to the temple priest. And now Satish, he challenged Yogananda that you have such an intense belief in the Divine Mother. Now ask your Divine Mother to provide us with food. And Yogananda, he simply replied that the Divine Mother will feed us. And just then the temple priest, he came to them and he said that although it was against the rules of the temple to serve food who had failed to make any prior request, but somehow, as if he was guided to put aside food for them when he saw them arriving in the early morning hours. So this was completely unexpected, what the temple priest said. And when Satish heard those words that they would be having their lunch in spite of Yogananda failing to make any prior arrangement, he could not believe what the temple priest just said. And this event made Satish soften a bit. there was a shift in his consciousness, and thereafter he became humble in his words and in his actions. And then after a few days, Yogananda, he paid a visit to his sister's Roma's house, and Roma was very happy, and she thanked her brother Yogananda for bringing in this incredible transformation in her husband. She said that her husband, he attends his office in the morning, and then when he comes back in the night, he devotes much of his time in for meditation. And she further mentioned that Satish has even been blessed with the vision of the Divine Mother. So now their relationship had taken a new turn, bringing in positivity, bringing in joy and the divine bliss. And now, Masters, during this time, Satish, he was also suffering from a serious ailment. And a thought came to Yogananda that Satish would not be able to live for long because of that serious ailment. And as if Roma, even she got this thought in her mind that because of this ailment, her husband would not be able to live for long. And then she said that as a devoted Hindu wife, it cannot be that she can be well and her husband is sick. So she said that she will be the first one to die. And exactly after 18 months, while Yogananda, he was in America, then one day Roma, she dressed herself in the bridal attire, and she said that this is going to be my last day that I am serving my husband, that is Satish, as a devoted Hindu wife. And shortly thereafter, she had a heart attack and she left her body happily without any suffering. And now, after the death of Roma, her husband Satish, he became quiet, he became reclusive. And although this was the time when Satish was completely cured of that ailment that he had been suffering. And one day, while Satish, he was looking at the picture of Roma, he exclaimed that you think you were clever in going before me. I shall prove to you that you cannot remain away from me for long. I shall join you soon. And yes, Satish also left his physical body after a few days without any apparent cause. So friends, what we fear the most is the most natural thing to happen to us, and that is death. We fear death because we do not understand the meaning of life. The life which has been given to us is an opportunity to find God, to know God. And once we realize this truth, we understand that death is just an instrument to liberate us. And Steve Jobs, while he was leaving his physical body, his last words were, "Oh wow, oh wow, oh wow," as if he had realized this truth while he was leaving his body, which we fail and which we refuse to realize and understand. So, Masters, in this way, Yogananda's eldest sister Roma and her husband Satish, they left their physical body, or to say that they both got liberated through death. And friends, just to add that in this temple of Dakshineshwar, it was the same temple where Ramakrishna Paramahansa had found answers to his questions about life, about death from Ma Kali. And it often used to happen that the stone image of Ma Kali, it used to transform into a living form, and Ramakrishna Paramhansa, he used to talk with the living form of Goddess Kali. So, if you also might have some experiences, or if you have heard about any of the experience of people with the Dakshineshwar temple in Calcutta, then please do share your experiences, Masters, after this session. So now, Masters, going forward with Autobiography of a Yogi, we know that Yogananda, he was also pursuing his bachelor's from the University of Calcutta. But Yogananda, he hardly used to attend any of his college lectures because most of his time was devoted with his guru Swami Sri Yukteswar in his ashram. And now it was time for the final exams of his bachelor's degree. And so one day, his guru, Swami Sri Yukteswar, he asked Yogananda that in how many days do you have your final exams? And so Yogananda said that, Guruji, my exams are in 5 days. And Yogananda was thinking that my guru knows that all my time has been spent here in his ashram, and he knows that I have not attended my college lessons. So he would only say me that you do not give your exams this year, so you can appear for your exams in the next coming year. But he was shocked when his guru said to him that you must appear for your exams. And now Yogananda, he had almost tears in his eyes, and he said that, Guruji, you know that I have not been to my college, and my time has all been spent here. My heart and my soul lies with you and this ashram. I have no preparation at all, so please don't ask me to sit in for my exams. And Yogananda, he thought that his guru is being unreasonable with him to ask him to sit for the exams. And Masters, in those days, what used to happen that if you failed in just one subject of your bachelor's degree, then the next year you had to appear for all of your exams. So it wasn't that if you fail in just one subject, then you reappear for only that subject, but you had to give all the subjects, all the exams of all the subjects the following year. So it was pretty hard. And then Swami Sri Yukteswar, he consoled Yogananda by saying that, Yogananda, has the Lord ever failed you at an examination or anywhere? And Yogananda, he warmly replied that no. We know that there have been so many instances in the past where Yogananda, he got this help at the 11th hour in unthinkable ways. When he was giving his high school exams, then Nantu, his batchmate, he had been a divine instrument, and he highlighted the important questions, and only those questions came in his high school exams, and thus Yogananda, he was able to clear his high school. And we also remember the incident when Yogananda was so much discouraged to pursue the life of a renunciant. And Ananta, his brother, he said that this path, it doesn't belongs to you. And just then, a saint who was standing nearby, out of nowhere, he just came and said to Yogananda that don't listen, your path lies in the path of renunciation, in the path of yoga. So we know that Yogananda, he got the right guidance, he got that help in unthinkable ways. So this time also Swami Sri Yukteswar ji, he said to Yogananda that you have a brilliant student in your class, Ramesh Chandra. So you must seek the help of Ramesh Chandra. He would help you. So Yogananda, he went to Ramesh Chandra, and Ramesh Chandra, he happily agreed to help Yogananda, and he highlighted all the important questions. And when Yogananda, he sat for his exams, he couldn't believe that only those questions that were highlighted, they came and exactly in the same format. And Yogananda was so overwhelmed with joy that his eyes got welled up and his answer sheet was all filled up with tears, because he knew that this was only possible with the grace of his guru. And when Swami Sri Yukteswar had asked him to appear for the exams, then Yogananda, he said he had said that, I don't know, I have zero preparations, and the only thing I know is your teachings. So I would only fill up my answer sheet with your teachings. So what happened that when he had his Bengali exam, then the question came to write about a person from whom you have been inspired the most. And it is needless to say that Yogananda wrote about Swami Sri Yukteswar and his teachings page after page. And in this way, the prediction of Yogananda that he would write about his Guru and his teachings also came true. And now, Masters, the most awaited day came when the results were announced. And Yogananda was finally presented with his bachelor's degree from the University of Calcutta. And during those days, getting this bachelor's degree was highly regarded because it wasn't that many people, they were able to complete their 4 years bachelor's degree course. And even Yogananda had thought that it would not be possible for him to complete his bachelor's degree, but when he had got the certificate in his hand that yes, he is now a bachelor, he was utterly shocked and utterly happy. And Yogananda, he thanked his Guru for all his grace, and he thanked the divine for all his blessings. So, Masters, this is so remarkable. We know that for Yogananda, it would not have been possible for him to receive his bachelor's degree had he not had the grace of his Guru, had he not had the blessings of the divine. So just like Yogananda, we too can have the guidance and the grace of the divine if we follow the path for which we have taken birth. It usually happens that when we pursue something which is not our soul's calling, then we see that in our life, we see that we have so many stumbling blocks. But if we walk on the path that for which we have taken birth, then the whole universe comes to our rescue to remove those stumbling blocks. So think about it, Masters. Are you following the path which is your soul's calling or not? So, Masters, with this, I end today's session and I open this platform for your sharings and your experiences. Thank you, Masters.
Yes,
You
yes,
see?
Mati.
Yeah. It was very interesting, the 2 chapters. And I think it finished very quickly. You could have read another chapter as well. I mean,
You're on mute, Ruchi.
I am mute, no. I'm not on mute.
No, go ahead, Malati ji, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Malati, I was on mute. You go ahead, please.
Okay. And I liked the teachings really there very much, right? How he helped his brother-in-law. It was his faith in the divine being in the universe that helped him to help his brother-in-law. Okay, so I always say that God works in mysterious ways, okay? Because when I had cancer, everybody in the family was very upset and crying because my mother died of cancer as well. So then I just told them, look, Bournemouth is a cancer center for the Southwest, okay? We got a very good consultant, the best consultant. And it's up to God to work through his hand to make me better. It is his divine will, and I got to trust that it is his divine will. And they couldn't understand what I was saying, how I can be so calm about it, okay? But I think the meditation and listening to all these talks does help a lot as to how to accept things as they come. And do your best, that's all I would say, and leave the rest to the divine being. Yep.
Thank you so much, Malati for sharing your experience. And you have so beautifully expressed your experience of surrendering to the divine and of accepting whatever was presented to you in your life. Because when we accept life, then we don't suffer. It's only when we resist what is presented to us in life that resistance causes us suffering. And how beautifully you just surrendered your will to the divine's will, and that surrender, it healed you completely. Wow, Malati that is so inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing, Malati
Thank you.
And wow, Malti despite all this, how beautiful you are. Your smile is, radiating, and you're sharing that bliss to all of us. You're such a true personality that, we all should learn a lot from you. Oh, thanks a lot for coming up and sharing here. Thank you so much. You are on mute, Malti if you are sharing anything. No, you're still on mute. Yeah, no.
You're all, so advanced masters when compared to me. Definitely. I should
We
be
are all the same.
one of them.
We are all the same, Malti There is no advanced, there is no junior, there is no senior. Everyone is the same. So thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and yes, Ruchi, it was truly inspiring today's session. There were beautiful learnings here as well, when especially how Paramahansa Yogananda has meditated for more than 5 hours for his brother-in-law. That was really a great thing that, it's mostly we will be meditating for ourselves, but doing for others by giving that much of time is a true thing. It was also telling us how much we should be meditating more for serving this planet Earth. So that is one takeaway. And when we trust for the higher self, everything will manifest. So here, Paramahansa Yogananda only thought that his brother-in-law will be seeing the Almighty, will be knowing about the Almighty, and that have manifested. So when something is for the higher purpose, everything is just will happen, will manifest. And also about when you said about Roma and Satishi, how Roma have chosen to vacate her body. It is like a true learning today that we all should need to trust first why we are here on this purpose. And then even though that the journeys have been like living together, we need to understand why we are here to serve, for whom. So it was like a great learning of how we have to follow our heart there and consider the things. And also it was very good about the exams finally. How Yeah, even though there is no learning at all, when there is the trust in divinity. I mean, when we know the purpose, when we know about why we are here on planet Earth, the divinity just takes care of its own. However, the path should be, we should be continuing on the path. And that is what Yogananda has taught us, that since the childhood, although there were so many distractions, there were so many tests that has been kept to him, he has changed everyone with his vibration and with his teachings, and it shows that he was determined in his journey. So he exactly know in which direction that he wants to go, and he was continuing. And it's like the rest, everything is, the doors are opening to him. So quite a lot. Uh, it's very divine to see, like to hear all these great stories, and how especially one were going forward with trust. Thank you so much for today's session. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nilima, for sharing and for summing it up all so beautifully well. And just to add here that, we might think that this can only happen to the saints or to the enlightened ones, this experience of the goddess transforming into a living image. But I will just like to add here that you must be knowing of the famous playback singer Anuradha Podwal.
Mhm.
You know her
Yes.
about her, yes? So if you just go on YouTube and search for her podcast on her experience with Goddess Kali in the famous Dakshineshwar temple, then you will also learn how she also experienced the same experience of how the stone image of Goddess Kali turned into so many times into a living form and used to give guidance and used to talk to Anuradha Podwal. So I'm just adding this to share that we are all worthy of these experiences. We are all worthy of finding the divine and experiencing the divine.
True. Well said. And every time you are coming up and sharing with the real examples, Ruchi, and it's like showing that we all have uh, this path, like this teachings is the same for all of us, and for everyone the knowledge is the same. It's just that we have to trust, and we have to keep going in our path. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Yes, and it's like all these sharings that I am doing of the real life experiences is just coming to me. And maybe it's just coming so that I can share with you all.
Meant to be.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And I'm so thankful to Sri Kala ji and Raksha ji, Dr. Lingeshwari ji, Veronica, Malati ji, and of course Anna ji for turning on your videos today. And I'm happy to see you all.
Yeah.
Thank you for the beautiful session, Ruchi ji. Thank you.
Thank you, Raksha ji. So, shall we start with the meditation, Nilima?
Yeah, so just only one information. So, Masters, we will be ending the live now. So, whoever are on YouTube, we request you to join on Zoom. So, we'll be meditating, and we'll be going in this oneness journey. And thanks a lot, Masters. Thank you.